You know, I watched Kemi Badenoch's closing speech yesterday at the Conservative conference, and I couldn't shake this feeling that she just wants to smash everything to pieces, you know, in true Tory fashion. She opened her speech with this.
Is under new leadership. From now on, we are going to be telling the British people the truth, even when it is difficult to hear.
Truth. She says it like she's delivering wisdom from a mountaintop, so I want you to remember that word, because by the time we get to her claim about ADHD and mobility cars, well, she's already going to be lying through her teeth. And not only that, it's such a clumsy lie that anybody can debunk it with a quick Google search. But first, let's have a look at the demolition list that she calls a blueprint for Britain.
We'll scrap their tax on family farms. Andrew, we will scrap their tax on family businesses. And we will reverse the terrible measures in Angela Rayner's unemployment bill, written by the unions, for the unions, a bill that will wrap firms in red tape, cost business £5 billion, and make Angela Rayner probably one of the last people in Britain to ever be legally sacked. Simply unwinding Labour's measures isn't enough. We are Conservatives, not anarchists. I am an engineer, not an arsonist. So together, thank you. So together, we are going to build something better. We are creating a blueprint for Britain, a new settlement based on Conservative values. So what's in it? First, securing our borders. On Sunday, I announced our plan to take the UK out of the ECHR, to scrap the Human Rights Act, to deport 150,000 illegal immigrants. This is a plan, not a slogan. Next in my blueprint, work and welfare. If we want to end our over-reliance on immigration, then we must make sure that every British citizen who can work does work, being paid to sit at home all day. We cannot expect people to get up and go to work and pay more and more in taxes to subsidise millions of others not to work. It should not be controversial to say this. Conference, we have done the hard work, and we have a plan to cut welfare spending. First, British benefits for British citizens. It is common sense that you should not draw out of a system that you haven't paid into. Second, we will restrict benefits to those with the more severe mental health conditions, not anxiety or mild depression. Yes, these challenges are real and people should get support, but they cannot be treated as a reason for a lifetime off work. And third, we will restrict Motability vehicles to people with serious disabilities. Those cars are not for people with ADHD.
Scrap the Human Rights Act, pull us out of the ECHR, deport 150,000 people to where she can't actually tell us yet, gut welfare, if it exists, smash it. She insists that she's an engineer, not an arsonist. But it's like they've looked at the past 14 years of them being in power and then just gone, yeah, it was all right. Because the list that she rattles off, it sure sounds like an arsonist manifesto to me. Then came the numbers game.
Thanks to the hard work of the Shadow Cabinet, we have already identified £47 billion in savings. Pretty has earmarked £7 billion from the overseas aid budget. Alex has identified £8 billion from cutting the civil service. And Helen has found £23 billion from welfare.
She stood there bragging about finding $47 billion in savings, $7 billion from overseas aid, $8 billion from cutting the civil service, and, wait for it, $23 billion ripped out of welfare. I mean, welfare's not waste, that's support. It's services, it's people's lives. But apparently, that's all just dead weight to her. Responsibility today, opportunity tomorrow. Nothing's changed. It's always been jam tomorrow with the Tories. And as for this $23 billion ripped out of welfare, this is the same woman who, when pressed in interviews, can't get simple maths right. And do you really trust that she's found $23 billion? Because I sure don't.
Over to Labour, to the new government, a growing economy and low inflation and much lower debt than we had inherited. So we had an over-economy that was in good shape.
There are facts in public debate. You just said that you had lower debt than was handed over in 2010. Debt was 800 billion in 2010. It was 2.6 trillion in 2024.
So we did the hard work. I may have said the wrong word there on bringing down the deficit and the trajectory to bring down debt.
And then this is where it gets really ugly. She says that mobility cars shouldn't go to people with ADHD. Remember this?
The Conservative Party is under new leadership. From now on, we are going to be telling the British people the truth, even when it is difficult to hear. We will restrict Motability vehicles to people with serious disabilities. Those cars are not for people with ADHD.
Right, here's the truth. Nobody gets handed a car just for having ADHD. The mobility scheme is linked to the mobility part of disability benefits, and you only qualify if your condition severely affects your daily life. It's not a loophole, it's not automatic, it's support for people who genuinely need it. But Kemi frames it as if people are just joyriding on the taxpayers' money, when in reality, she's just punching down for applause. Truth, Kemi, truth. And then finally for her big reveal, abolishing stamp duty.
Want to further their career. Pensioners who want to downsize but can't afford the thousands of pounds they have to pay in tax. Conference, stamp duty is a bad tax. It is an unconservative tax. The last Conservative government cut stamp duty for thousands of home buyers. But now we must go further. We must free up our housing market, because a society where no one can afford to buy or move is a society where social mobility is dead. So I have looked at the stamp duty thresholds to see where we can change them. I have looked at the rates you have to pay to see if we can lower them. I have decided that we can't, because that simply wouldn't be enough. Conference, the next Conservative government will abolish stamp duty on your home.
Sounds great, doesn't it? Until you remember stamp duty raises about 12 to 13 billion every single year. So where's she going to find that money? It's like quitting your job to spend more time with the kids but not actually having a plan to feed them. So when Kemi Badenoch says truth, remember this speech, because what she's actually delivered was a pack of lies, shaky maths and policies that don't add up. A blueprint not for building Britain, but for tearing it down, brick by brick. And to see Kemi get frustrated at being asking questions during an interview, well, you need to watch the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.